Thank you very much, members of the press. I'm Babu, Owino, Member of Parliament from Embakasi East constituency. And today we are here at Milimani Courts. And the main reason why we are here is to fight for the interest of students, comrades in this country. The people standing behind me are students who pursued their law degree, LLB, in various institutions, in various universities across this country. These students come from very humble backgrounds, very poor or sorry backgrounds. And these are students whose parents really struggled so much to educate them, to ensure that they acquired education. These students were admitted in various universities to pursue their degrees in law and have been completed successfully. Now these students have nowhere to go to. From 2015 up to date, these students have been pursuing justice for education to no success. They've moved in various courts, there is no help. Having spent 4 years in university, they are now reduced to nothing. They can't practice law. Why? Because Kenya School of Law is not ready to admit them because of certain few requirements which are not watertight to justify the conviction. Kenya School of Law, the KSL Act 2012, states that for you to be admitted to practice in the advocates training program, then you must have scored a B plain and above in English, a B plain and above in Kiswahili. Then they don't take into consideration other subjects. And we also know that we are gifted differently, and we are gifted in different subjects differently. And these students, they scored grades which qualified them to join universities to study law. But KSL is saying that even that degree that you studied at the university is nothing so long as you did not score a B in English or Kiswahili. So where do we take these students? Which means that we have a lot of over 3,000 students from 2015 up to date in this country who graduated successfully. Some scored first class honors, some scored second upper, some scored second law. They got different grades at the university, but they can't practice. This is where they belong. They belong along the corridors of justice. They don't belong in the streets and the villages where they are reduced to. These students are depressed. These students, some of them have committed suicide because all they hoped for when they are leaving their various slums and villages was that they go and study and make a living and be successful in life. But now that has been multiplied by zero. And KSL is responsible for this because the Act says that we cannot admit them. But the Legal Education Act contradicts the Kenya School of Law Act 2012. In section 83C of the Legal Education Act states clearly that they allow for progression. Progression means that if you scored a B, if you scored less than B in English or Kiswahili, then you can start doing diploma or a certificate and you'll be admitted at KSL. Or alternatively, if you have an extra degree and you study also law, you can still be admitted at KSL. So there's a contradiction between KSL Act 2012 and the Legal Education Act, section 83C. But this is also cured by the same Legal Education Act, section 84, which states clearly that in case there is a contradiction, in case there is a conflict between KSL Act and the Legal Education Act, then the Legal Education Act shall prevail. That is section 8.4. So, we are left wondering where we will go, where these comrades will go from here, having wasted 4 years in universities, having wasted their life studying. Some are total orphans, some come from very poor families, and if you can see them, these are people who should be lawyers. These are people who should be advocates. These are people who should be magistrates. These are people who should be judges. These are people who should be prosecutors. But you are reducing them to this level. So the difference between these students and a person who never attended class 1 are the same. Because they are all now getting the title of school dropouts. So then why the need for education in this country? So our prayer is very simple. To KSL, that please use the Legal Education Act that prevails upon the KSL Act 2012 to admit these students to achieve their dreams. And again, if you don't agree to admit them, we'll fight this war on different fronts. We will fight in Parliament to ensure they are admitted. We will still appeal the decision of the Court of Appeal at the apex of the court, that is the Supreme Court. So we will fight by law, and we are also going to fight forcefully. Because again, what do we have to lose if we've lost our source of livelihood, which is education? So I will be leading this team. We will fight in air, that is on social media, and we are requesting members of the media to help us also in this. We will fight on land by organizing demonstrations, which we only promise that there will be demonstrations across the country, but we are not promising whether they'll be peaceful or not. Because as you see the faces of these comrades, you see the future of this nation, which you want to multiply by 0. And we are not going to agree on that. So I want to take this opportunity to invite a few leaders, 2 ladies, 2 advocates, female advocates, and 2 male advocates to address the media.